So this is just an interview for the newspaper. I just have a couple of questions.
Mr. Gray will see you now.
What was he like?
He was polite,
Intense, smart, really intimidating. Do you have any interests outside of work?
What about you? I'd like to know more about you.
There's really not much to know about me. Look at me.
I am.
To what do you owe your success?
I exercise control in all things, Miss Steele.
It must be really boring.
Got me looking so crazy right now. Your love's got me looking so crazy right now.
I'm incapable of leaving you alone.
Then don't.
Crazy right now. Your touch
I had a rough start in life. You should steer clear of me.
got me hoping you save me right now. Your kiss got
I don't
me
do
hoping you save
romance.
me right now. Looking so crazy.
My tastes are very
Got me
singular.
looking, got me
You
looking
wouldn't
so
understand.
crazy.
Enlighten me then.
Run, Anastasia! Run away! That's normal reaction that anybody would have to that room. Not like, okay, let's try this stuff out. It's just, I think this is almost like a guide for everything you shouldn't do in a relationship that becomes abusive and kinky. It also seems to be everything you shouldn't do as a director. I think Sam Taylor Johnson was a very odd choice to direct this film, but the big thing she had going for her was that she was apparently an artiste, and she was going to bring that kind of insight into that filter to the film, that perspective, and she was going to push the edge of the envelope, a little like I think that Luc Besson had done with Lucy, which I discussed particularly in my spoiler review of that movie. But this looks pretty CW-y to me. This looks like an episode of Gossip Girl, which I have to say, I did watch. But it's as if one of them goes on an assignment. And I have to say, we're having so many strong female characters, and this is a big trend in movies. Women are finally becoming a target demographic for Hollywood. And then to see Dakota Johnson like cowering in the elevator, almost to the point where she's like Michelle Pfeiffer's Selena Kyle pre the Catwoman transformation. But that was kind of like a joke on itself. And I think that Selena Kyle, Michelle Pfeiffer's version, had a lot of self-hate, which you could see come to the surface when she came back to her apartment that fateful night. One of the most iconic scenes in all of film, not just superhero films. So to see her just being like, oh, little old me, I'm so mousy and meeby, I think it plays into some of the worst qualities that women can have. Which I think since the dawn of time has made women be able to be manipulated and preyed upon by people just like Christian Grey. And I have to say, with all due respect to Jamie Dornan, he just seems like a Robert Pattinson clone to me, and not like a good one. You know how like when you Xerox a Xerox and it just kind of like starts to lose something about itself? He just looks like a weak copy. And I wish that this, I guess, they couldn't really find anybody who wanted to do it, because, but they said they're not going to go that kinky, so I don't know. But I just feel like I wish they had picked really strong, bolder personalities. Like even at least like Joe Manganiello, who has shown that he has no problem taking his pants off. Just someone like that. Someone who just seems, I don't know. I think Christian Grey to me seems too small to be into the kinky stuff. He'd be like, okay, pretend I'm holding you back. I mean, I guess testosterone factors in there. But I think if you wanted it to be dominated sexually, you could find somebody a little bit more dominant than Jamie Dornan. But that's just me. Now I'm wondering here, I've never read the book, I didn't have an interest in reading the book, and I think, but a lot of people have, obviously. That's why they're making this movie. So if you read 50 Shades of Grey or you know somebody who has, turn to them and say, does this reflect what you liked about the book? Did they capture it? Or are you too scratching your head? And also, you know, the reality has a hard time matching up to the fantasy, and I think that it was very hard for this movie to compete with what people had in their heads, especially if they're going to dial back the kinkiness to try and make it more mainstream. I say no. I say that ship has sailed about appealing to mainstream audiences. You should just go into the kinkiness. You know, look how well people are talking about Under the Skin. Yesterday I said, I don't want to watch naked Scarlett Johansson, you know, dip guys into black goo. Not my cup of tea. And people were like, oh, you know, it's art. And I think this movie could have benefited from the same defense and maybe the same, cult, artistic indie film support. But it's not going to get that, and I don't think it's going to get mainstream support. But I don't know. I will say, though, that Christian Grey has a lovely office, and I really like that kind of decorating scheme. I really am into whites and grays and chromes and metals. I'm not into wood, which is an ironic statement to say with concerning this film. That's just hysterical. I'm going to stop there before I get myself into trouble. But I guess I would say, I don't even, it's so bad. Okay, I guess I like wood in my personal life, but not in my office. All right, I had to go there. I had to do it. And I wish this movie would kind of tap into that sense of fun. Like, oh, you didn't just do that, did you? And you're like, yes, I did. That's kind of where I think the movie should go. But I'm curious to what you guys think. And about all these just interesting bondage discussions we're going to have over the next couple of months as we wait for this movie to hit theaters for Valentine's Day 2015. All right, write your thoughts down below. Tons of more content coming over the next couple of days. It's just going to be a deluge. I'm trying to get the word right. A deluge of content. So just keep checking back and check the Beyond the Trailer all coverage playlist for just everything coming out. Okay.